Hey guys, this is Ted Haigh, and I'd like you to see his cocktail books. And let me see if I can get in here. But this wall, I'm going to back up even more. This whole wall is Ted Haigh's cocktail library.
And I still need more space. So you guys you donate more real estate to me, please, please. And oh, there's some wonderful books up there. Some of them incredibly rare.
And look at this. Oh my gosh. Look at this book that he has on his desk.
It's so rare. It's the rarest of the rare. Forbidden Fruit.
That's what it actually used to say on
Yeah.
the Chambord?
It didn't used to be a Chambord.
Okay.
It was Forbidden Fruit produced by the Bustanobi brothers. Which was bought out by Jacquin, who then, the guy who ran Jacquin, discontinued Forbidden Fruit and created Chambord, which made him a millionaire. And he had sons, so when he sold Chambord to Brown Forman, that gave the brothers, his sons, enough money to do their own little projects. One of them created Saint Germain. The other one did a remake of what used to be called Canton Ginger, as Domain Ginger, or whatever they call it now. Collected because people gave it to me or whatever. But, you look down here and you see there's more. And some of it's very, very, very old. Like those. The Rum Punch. Those are basically the hard liquors in general. Things have gotten a bit mixed up. But, and these are just bitters. And then over here are some of the liqueurs, which you can see the depth of the bar. Well, that depth goes all the way back under those to have all of those liqueurs, some of which haven't been produced in 50 years, and some of them haven't been produced in 100 years. And then there's the aperitif bitters and wines and so on and so forth. They're down there, your pastisses and your what have you.
Oh my gosh, Ted.
But that's all the common stuff. If you want the uncommon stuff, it's over here. Let's see what we have in this one, for instance. This is maybe the American whiskeys. These are pre-Prohibition whiskeys, and then down here are some sort of post-Prohibition whiskeys of various sorts. Old, very old, like pre-Prohibition Angostura bitters and so on and so forth, and back in the days when the chartreuse was made in Spain because they couldn't make it in France anymore because of war. Yeah. See? Old Gordons, old Genevers, old Coates. This would have been Plymouth gin, high and dry. It was a big American brand. And this one came back around again. This was black and white, blended Scotch, by appointment to His Majesty the King. That would have made that before Queen Elizabeth, which would have been, let's just say this is from the 1940s or 30s. And basically all this stuff just keeps wrapping around. If you see a closed cabinet, it's full of booze. And, yes.
Oh my gosh.
If you see a closed cabinet, it's full of booze. In the early 60s, and you could turn a music box on underneath, which the music box is not working right now. See, there's the music box.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, and the ballerina would
The
dance
ballerina
around.
would dance around.
And it's a creme de menthe is what's in it. In this case, they had various things. They had one full of apricot liqueur de apricot, and so on and so forth. But the Bowles ballerina was very famous for its time in
I
the
have
early
never
60s.
heard of that.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, there's just all kinds of little things like that. And the four pours, where one vessel could pour 4 different liqueurs. And they had all kinds of these funny things. And then there's the famous Bogart's bitters, which my friend Stefan Berg they were inspired by me as I showed them some of Jerry Thomas's original bitters recipes, and he recreated a bitters that they had used. Darcy did it.
Darcy.
That's right, exactly. Darcy did that, and among other things. And of course, the other thing he made was the acid phosphate, Horsford's acid phosphate, which I did the label for.
You did?
Yeah, the original. Yeah, if you look it up online, you'll see that bottle. This is from the 1940s.
Lisa, do you see this?
Exactly, it's Lisa, and so we had discussed that a lot. I've still got a full one of those somewhere.
Let me see. Oh, somewhere.
This one's empty. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. This was half full of Myers back in the days when they still declared a vintage on it, 8 years in wood. It was a very good rum back then. Not to say anything about it now. I would never. Plain old refrigerator ice. My stove is, of course, entirely sterile, so you know it's going to be healthy. Besides, as everybody knows, alcohol kills everything. Little iced tea. You know, this is white whiskey. They used to make white whiskey back in the pre-Prohibition days, but since whiskey started coming back, as opposed to vodka, the companies have again started doing it. So this is for the strength and a little bit of the sweet. We'll do the apple cider stuff. It'll go nicely with the iced tea. This was made by, I don't know who. I would never drink it by itself, but you know, as a liqueur-like sweetener, it's not bad. And then we have the bitter and sweet Campari. So we just add a little bit of that to it, and it'll give it some color. Yeah, there we are.
Do you have a name for this concoction you just made up off the top of your head?
Let's call it a je ne sais quoi. No, let's not. I don't know. No, I do not. I do not. This is...
You have a ghost white whiskey. You have a Serpent's Spike apple cider whiskey. And Campari,
we have iced
with
tea.
iced tea. Is that sweetened iced tea?
It will be at this point. It will be with this. Let's see. And this is just a sipping concoction. That's all. There's nothing much to it. It will not stand up to the genius of the old bartenders of old that are in my book, but it's okay for something on the fly after a hard day at work or arguing on Facebook or whatever. Let's go sit on the porch. I'm Ted Haigh, a.k.a. Dr. Cocktail. I wrote Vintage Spirits and Forgotten Cocktails, and I've been around the world with wonderful liquor literati, and I just made up this cocktail on the fly because I am also a rather lazy person, and it's just easier to do that than to look it up in even my own book. So it was a good fun to do, and Cheryl Charming egged me on.
Cheers!